You know, people often ask me, what's the best strategy to use with your digital marketing? So I've probably spent the good part of the last, actually 30 years, but certainly in the last 10 years, researching and exploring some of the online apps and tools that are available for us to use in our business. And the truth is that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of sort of strategies, tools, processes that we can employ in our digital marketing, and not all of them work. And when I say that, they might work for one industry or one business. You try and do the same thing in yours and it bombs, it just doesn't work. And there's a real danger in having a look and seeing what other people are doing. And I've seen this before too, where people will have a look and see, what are people doing in their industry, so what marketing are they doing, what social media strategies are they employing, are they running ads, and then automatically assume that it must be working for them, so then they go and copy and emulate that. The fact of it is that you don't know what's happening with the results with that there. Maybe they've had a digital agency in that are just running, let's say, ads for them, and maybe the ads are getting no return on investment at all, or maybe they are. So if you're copying that, all you're doing is you're copying a sort of process and strategy that that they may be using, or actually copying a tactic that they might be using, but they're needing real results as to whether it's going to work or not. So you could spend a whole lot of money in running that strategy, only to find that it bombs, and you don't know whether that other business is just shelling out money. Maybe they've got a budget there just to keep on shelling out money regardless. Maybe they've got no idea what's going on. Maybe they're not tracking and measuring what's going on, or maybe it's a wild success. We just don't really know without asking them. So one of the things you might want to do is, if you notice people in your industry are running a particular strategy, best thing to do is pick up the phone and ask them, how's it going? But surprisingly, many people are happy to share what's working for them, and they're more than happy to share what's not working for them. So that's probably the information that you really want to know, is what's not working for them, so you don't emulate a process or a strategy that's not working. But then there's a whole lot of other variables in behind that as well too. So that might be, they might be running, let's say, an ad campaign, and but that might be just the front end of something. But they might be doing a whole lot of other things in the back end that you don't even see. All you see is the ads, but you don't see their social media campaigns that they've got running. You might not see their website process they've got. You might not see their email marketing campaigns they've got running. So your online marketing strategies are not just one thing, but they consist of often multiple strategies, tactics and tools that combined together provide a successful outcome. Now I know that we run a lot of marketing on the social media platforms, and I can tell you for one that if we compare what was happening say 5 years ago to what's happening now, it's a vastly different ball game. I'll tell you this up front, is that we find difficult getting organic reach, the sort of organic reach that we were getting even 2 or 3 years ago. We're just not getting that sort of reach. So in order to complement that marketing, we've got to use other strategies as well too, or other tools as well. So a couple of tools in our tool belt is definitely socials. Even though organically the reach is not huge, it's still important, but we'll complement that with email marketing. But we'll also complement that with running a Facebook group. So some of you might know, you might be in it, Business Owners Smashing an Online Facebook group. That is part of our marketing strategy, and the reason why that's part of our strategy is we've set it up in such a way that anyone that joins the group, the only way you can join it is by answering 3 questions, and one of them is what's your business and what do you hope to gain out of the group. The other one is your email address, and the third one is just respecting the rules of posting in the groups. But the most important one there is the email address. So So what happens with that is that when people join our group, when we approve them, they automatically get sent through to our CRM. So that's another strategy that we've got running. We send a welcome email out from the CRM. So because we're capturing the email address, Facebook won't give you that natively, but that's the reason why we ask for it in Facebook groups. Because we're capturing that, that goes into our CRM, then we can send out a welcome message, then we can invite them to the weekly webinar that we have. So we've got the Business Owners Smashing It Online weekly webinar, which runs every Tuesday evening. And so that's another one of our processes and strategies, is having this free webinar. So, that's part of our marketing, and part of our digital footprint is running that particular event there. So when you look at it, we've got social media posting, we've got email marketing, we've got a Facebook group, we've got a CRM. So there are 4 things in the mix to help our marketing be successful. So no one of those on their own is ever going to do the job for us for our marketing. And then we've got other things in that mix too. We've got a range of landing pages, we've got our website, and there are a number of other sort of tools, tactics and strategies that we use. You've possibly seen our YouTube channel. So when you look at it, there are at least a dozen or more things that run in combination with each other to ensure that our marketing is effective. Does it take a lot of time? It can do. But we've managed to simplify a lot of the administration of that, or the operation of it, by having some processes and procedures that consistently run every week, and sometimes every day, on I was going to say autopilot or automatically. It does require some manual part of it. Most of it I don't do, so we've got a really good team of people that are onto it. And when I say team, there's 2 people. So there's 3 of us in our organisation, and 2 people that really run that side of things. So one of them really does a fabulous, and another one does a fantastic job with the copy and and the social media strategy. So we've got all of those all working in combination. So if you were to ask me, if I was to choose which one of those strategies that would have the greatest impact, I couldn't tell you. In fact, I think any of those strategies just working on their own would not work. It'd be a failure. And but yet so often what I see with businesses is that they're looking for the silver bullet, the magic pill there that is going to be the thing that really drives client or new leads and clients and customers to their business. That's never going to be the case. It might be on the rare occasion that you do something and you get flooded with some new leads coming in, but very rarely have I seen that to be the case. And even when you look at, say, some of the so-called professional marketers, so there are marketers out there that draw that have got events that draw in thousands of people into the event. So I think of people like, say, Jeff Walker or Amy Porterfield, James Wedmore. So they're big internet marketing names, and they run programs sort of each year, and they might get a couple of thousand, 1,000 to 2,000 people into their programs, but their reach is massive as well too. But when you look at what they do, again, it's not just one thing that accounts for it all. So there's a range of tactics, tools and strategies in that marketing mix to really make it work. And the truth of it is too that everything they try doesn't work. So I remember Jeff Walker saying at one stage, because he's quite a successful guy, he's the guy that is wrote a book called Launch. Definitely recommend, really good reads about how to launch your program. So it's a system or process of launching pretty much anything online. But he was saying that you should never copy what anyone else is doing, and he said never even copy what he's doing, because you never know whether he's running an experiment and they're just running it to see what results are. So so it could be an experiment, it could be something that's working really successfully. You don't know. So if you go along and copy something that is an experiment that is running, then all you're doing is copying something that has got no proven results at all. And when you look at some of these people that are experienced in the internet marketing world, there are probably more experiments that are run than that fail than things that are sort of successful. But then that's hard to quantify as well too. So even though they might be running an experiment that didn't work particularly well, it still feeds into their whole marketing machine. So it might give some visibility to what they're doing. So you might see something out of this experiment that they're running, and do nothing with it. But then you might see that pop up in some other sort of medium, might be into your email box, and then that triggers you to think, oh, I've heard of that guy before, and so that you get some of this recognition that starts to happen. I'd like to say that there are some magic formulas, magic bullets, silver bullets that really work for your marketing, but I can't. And I know for me, we've run hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of experiments in the marketing place. Lots and lots of them just haven't worked at all. They've failed. Others of them have worked moderately. Others have worked well. But what works exceptionally well is how you put it all together in a combination with each other. So this is not something that you can implement overnight. So I couldn't spend an hour with you, identify a particular mode or strategy or app or tool that's going to work for you, and then set you off to go and do it. It just doesn't work like that. But what I can do with you is to have a look at what is the marketing mix that you've got, and then have a look at what's working, what's not working, what could do with some tweaking, and then overall sort of have a look at how does this combination of marketing efforts and your online efforts, how does that all work together, and how can we improve some of that? So that can take it's not an hour, it could be months, it could be years sometimes to get that mix right. Now, I'm not saying you have to wait for years to get something that works right, but it is a process of, say, trying a tool, implementing, running some experiments, and seeing how it works. The parts of it that are successful, then you keep those and you ditch the rest of it, and then you work with another experiment. So you might be working across platform as well too. So you might be experimenting with some email marketing, series of lead magnets, with social media, with a group, and producing short videos, and maybe sort of quotes on social media, plus out doing networking and running a few webinars. So over time, those things in combination might work. Now you might find that you think that there's something there that doesn't work, so you decide to drop it. But the impact of dropping it, you might find, actually impacts the rest of the marketing strategy you've got. So you've just discovered that even though this one particular system, process or strategy didn't appear to be working, it did have an influence and an impact in other areas of your marketing. So you bring that back in. But you'll never know this if you're just running your marketing on single apps and tools and strategies. You need an overall strategy to really have an impact and have an overall high-level view of how all of these things are working. So that means you need to be tracking, you need to have some form of analytics, so you're tracking each of your individual strategies, but you're also tracking it as a whole to see how it's all working as a whole. So it's unfortunately a reasonably complex area, online marketing. There are people out there that will make it sound easy. There's agencies out there that you think have got the silver bullet for you, and they'll certainly sort of talk up the results and what they're able to achieve, and maybe they can achieve some of those results, but more often than not, when people employ an agency, and particularly an agency that is proficient in one particular strategy. So they might be proficient in, say, Google Ads, and so you might employ them. And I just see this over and over again, and it gets to so 2 months, 3 months into the campaign, and you find that you've spent more money than you've recouped back, and you consider it to be a real failure. So it's not a failure. It's just that that one process that you've employed hasn't given you the results that you're looking for. You get a result, but it might not be what you're looking for. So part of what you need to be doing in your marketing is to think about, okay, so what is that delivering me? Where are things dropping through the gaps? And can we fix that in that campaign, or what else can we do to help support that as well? So it might be you're running Google Ads, and let's say you're running them to a product page in the hope that they're going to buy some product. So a slight tweak there might be, well, rather than running it to a product page, what if we run them to a page that captures their email address? So it could be some form of lead magnet or mini course or whatever. So you run them to something like that there. So you capture their email address, and then when you capture their email address, then you put in place an email sequence, an email campaign. So instead of just having one strategy, which is Google Ads, now you've got three. So you've got your Google Ads, you've got some form of lead magnet or lead capture, and now you've got a CRM that you run out some email marketing. So that's three things all in once working in combination together. So now you can start to measure the effectiveness of that. So you might measure things like what are the impressions and click-through rates on your Google Ads through to your landing page, and then how many people that reach that landing page give you their email address. So that gives you one measurable metric, and then from that there, those email addresses go into your CRM, you send out emails, and then you might track things like how many people opened the email and read the email, how many people clicked the links inside the email, how many people unsubscribed, and then you can all track it back to the Google Ads, and now you can start to see, well, what's the return on investment on the Google ad based on the sales that are made, overall. How many of those sales or how many of those leads have come through from email, how many have come through directly from the lead magnet, how many come through directly from the Google ad. So and so it gives you a much better measure of it all, but you now have a system that's working in combination with each other, which sort of starts to guarantee a lot more success. So my thoughts about that is that you need to have at least 8 things running. So you need a minimum of 8 things that are working together as part of your marketing system and marketing strategy. Without that, then your results are going to be at best, you might get sort of a few sales, a few leads out of it. At worst, you get nothing. So don't give up on your marketing efforts if you see it's not working. You just look at what else can I add to that mix to refine it and to really start to get some result and some return on that investment. So it also means it's not a short-term game. So sometimes it might be that when someone clicks on that Google ad, the ideal is that they get there and they buy from you in the day, but it might take a couple of weeks. It might take a couple of months. It might even take a couple of years. So it depends on the sort of industry that you're in. So you think about, say, for instance, real estate, and if you're a real estate salesperson, then how often do people buy houses? When I was in the industry, it was an average of around about 5 years. I'm not sure what the average is now, but so if you're running your marketing and promotions, and you're not going to get any result. Well, often you're just not going to get any results, after the first month, or even after the first 2 months, or even sometimes after the first year. It might be in year 2, 3, 4, or 5 that you start to see the results. But without that consistent marketing focus and that machine that you've got working together, those people will never find you, and you won't get any conversions at all. So there can be a bit of a lag. So that's a long lag. If you've got sort of other products and services that have got a shorter buying cycle, then you can shorten that as well too. But really, when you get started with this, you have to expect that you're going to invest some time and some money for no result in that beginning. And I would say, expect, say, the first 6 months to 12 months to be a real graft. Look, it might be shorter, it might be 3 months, it might be sort of 3 to 6 months, but just don't expect a lot from it. If you do get a lot from it, then fabulous. You've got a system that's starting to work. But also think about how can you work. What are the things that you need to work on that are going to reach your audience where they are, where they happen to be hanging out, where they are reading, consuming information. You need to do some research into some of that there to work out, how is it going to be most effective, all of your marketing efforts together. So you're building up a whole network and system in your marketing. So if you were to ask me which is the best marketing strategy to employ, I couldn't tell you. Which is the best tool, I couldn't tell you. But the tools that are out there really help you to speed things up. There's lots of AI tools out there. You've probably seen some of that. Again, AI is not the silver bullet or the magic wand that's going to really magically get your marketing running well for you, but they're a tool to help you speed things up. So you think about, say, graphics. There are AI tools out there that will help you to generate graphics in seconds as opposed to spending days, putting graphics together. So that's a time saver. That's a time and cost saver. There are AI tools out there that will help you to write your ads as well. So there are tools out there that will do sort of multiple variations of your ad headlines, multiple variations of the ad copy, of the call to action, variations of the images, and so it will do that in just in a few minutes, as opposed to you spending hours and hours and hours writing out all of these variations. So that's really where AI can help you, is to speed up some of the time. Now, some of the stuff that gets spit out of AI is not great. So it does need a bit of massaging and tweaking. Some of it you wouldn't use AI for at all. So if you're writing, say, authoritative blog content and article content, you wouldn't use AI for that, but you would use AI for things like helping to generate some ideas for it, or starting to determine, what are people searching for, what are the questions they're asking, what's their areas of interest. So you'd use it for that sort of thing, but then you'd then go and create your content from your perspective and from your experience and knowledge about what you do. And again, there are some tools that can help you with that there. One of my favourite tools is I use video. Video is a great place to start, and like this particular video here, I could take this and if we uploaded it for YouTube, or even if we didn't, but if we upload it to YouTube, I could grab the YouTube URL, I could put it into this particular AI tool, and can ask it to write me an article based on the content that's in this video, and that there does a really good job. And the reason why it does a good job is that you've provided all of the content. So the AI tool's not having to go and pick up pieces of content from this website and that website and what someone else has fed in, because that's all it's doing. It's just using source documents that are out there. So again, it's not original thought. It's someone else's thought and someone else's intellectual property. But if you use it from video, so if you speak to video and you use that, then it's just using that content. So some things that work really well there is it's using your voice, your tone. It is your content. It's not introducing words that you wouldn't say, and you get a very similar flow to how you are on video. So the tools there are really there to help you. They're not there to do your marketing. They're to assist you in terms of shortening the time, giving you ideas, and where you really struggle at that end of things, really making that a whole lot simpler. There's no getting around that. If you want to have good quality content, you've got to create it yourself. But again, as I say, for my money, doing it on video and just speaking is the easiest form of creating content. If you don't like yourself on video, just switch off the video and do it by audio. If you don't like your voice, then you're stuck. But you know, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become, or the less self-conscious about it you become, and then you're able to bring out really good content that speaks to the audience that you're trying to reach. And if you think about, have you got customers already? You got the customers because of the way that you speak right now. And then if you want to attract more customers like that, again, video is the easiest way to do it. If you struggle with that too, then think about having a conversation with someone. So find someone in your office, your partner, your one of your kids. Have a conversation with them about the sort of topics that you're wanting to talk about. Video that, and then again, you've still got that content there that you can then use to create your articles out of. So some great tools out there to help you with it. But that alone is not a marketing strategy. They are just tools to help you with your marketing. So the reason why I'm talking about that tonight, one is because I do get that question all the time of, what do you think about, say, Facebook ads or Google ads or TikTok or YouTube or email marketing. So I get these questions all the time, and the truth is I can't tell you how it's going to work for you. But what we can do is work out how a process there to help you implement some of this marketing, so that you can then evaluate how it's working and then how it's all working together, and put together a strategic plan so that you've got a marketing plan that you can follow, and then you can measure the results. So once you've got a plan and you're following it, then you've got results like yes, it's working, no, it's not, or it's okay but can do with some work. So now you've got some information to do something with. Before you actually run it, you've got no information at all as to whether it's going to work at all. So marketing is a trial and error process. There is no do this, it'll work. So tonight on Business Owners Smashing It Online, that is what I'm going to be talking about. Well, it's not just this, but it's a process of how can you select the best marketing tools, apps and processes and strategies for your business. How do you do that? And it's reasonably simple to do. And as I said, you need to have at least 8 marketing or online marketing, or it doesn't have to all be online, but 8 marketing tactics, tools, processes in running in your business to get any sort of traction. So I'm going to talk about how do you choose those 8. And how do you start to work together with them, or get them working together so you get some traction? How do you measure it all? And how do you know when to ditch the ones that aren't working? And how do you know which ones to keep and build on, and then introduce something else into that mix as well? So we're going to look at a range of tools, processes, and procedures. But more importantly, we're going to look at how you in business can select the process, tools and strategies that are going to work for you. It's simple, and you'll walk away with this tool, and you'll be able to work through it in 30 minutes or so, if that, to then identify what you need to do, and that there will give you an action plan to then go and implement it over the next week, month, 90 days, so you've got something that really starts working. Then you can come back and have a look at it and see what was working, what was not. So come and join us on Business Owners Smashing It Online. This is a pivotal session for marketing. If you've ever asked that question, or if you've ever found yourself saying that what you've implemented doesn't work, or if you've employed a marketing agency or someone to help you with your marketing and the results have been dismal, poor, or just not giving you what you want, come along tonight and you'll find out why. But more importantly, you'll find out how to fix that. And fixing that means that you can still employ agencies, but you know what you're employing them to do, you know what you're measuring, and then you also know how does that fit into your overall marketing strategy. So it's on at 6 o'clock tonight, Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's on Zoom. So you can join us from anywhere in the world. In fact, you can join us in your car. Actually, these days you can probably join us in the aeroplane as well, because a lot of airplanes have got internet in them. But if you're in your office, on your computer, on your phone, or even stream to big screen TV, then come and join us. Make sure you bring a pen and paper, because it is not just a talk fest. I'll be getting you to have a look at your business and do some things in tonight's session as well, so that you really do walk away with something that you can take action on. So that's really the most important thing. Often, we go along to these webinars and seminars and things, and get some great information, but we don't take any action on them. Not because we don't want to, but because things get in the way. We get busy. The next day comes along, there are emails that pile in, the phone calls that come in, there's work that we haven't completed, we need to get done.